After midnight, before decisions, there's a space I rarely keep, where the night isn't asking questions and the city's half asleep. The clock moves forward cautiously, like it doesn't want to scare whatever fragile truth is sitting quietly in the air. A piano drifts through half-lit thoughts, never forcing what it means. The bass walks calmly underneath, like it's seen everything. Brushes soften every sharp idea, round off every edge, and the moment feels forgiving, never asking me to pledge. I've made plans that loud are ours, promised change with perfect timing, but here the silence doesn't care about redefining. It just lets me sit with what remains, what didn't disappear. And for once that feels like progress, not fear. For decisions, I don't need to choose a side. I don't need to clean the past up or explain what I hide. The night accepts me unfinished, lets the music speak, and I learn how much strength lies in being unusually true. After midnight, before decisions, I stay where I am, letting the night finish its sentence before I begin again. Snow on the late train home, windows fogged with borrowed heat. The city slides past quietly, never looking up to meet. The faces right and half asleep, coats buttoned high with doubt. The year's still heavy in their pockets, not yet sorted out. The piano starts inside my head, a slow, familiar turn, like something learned long ago that refuses to unlearn. The bass keeps time with the rails, steady, low and true, and the night feels wide enough to carry me through. I think about the conversations I never let begin, all the chances wrapped in silence that stayed folded within the without apology, doesn't ask to be seen, and I wonder how many answers hide in the space between. Snow on the late train home, no one rushing me, no expectations waiting at the end of this city, just motion without pressure, time without demand, and the quiet understanding that some things go as planned. The train slows down eventually, lights thinning into gray, and I step back into the cold without losing the day. If the year is still unfinished, then maybe so am I. But tonight the snow keeps falling, and lets that be enough to try. It was a beginning that didn't shine, no sparkle, no bright line drawn. The night stayed dim and honest as the year quietly moved on. Snow covered yesterday's noise, street by street, slow and sure, and the piano played like it knew that less could feel more pure. I didn't dress the moment up, didn't frame it as a win. I just let the music hold the room and everything within. The bass stayed close to the ground, brushes kept time thin, and I felt something rare for once. No need to begin again. A beginning that didn't shine felt heavier, felt real, like holding something in your hands you don't need to seal. I've chased light like it was proof before, thought brightness meant control, but this one stayed in shadow and reached me whole. Smoke wrote a sentence in the air, then chose not to explain, and the piano circled back to a place that didn't feel like pain. I thought about the years I tried to fix, the nights I tried to save, and how often quiet was the bravest thing I never gave. A beginning that didn't shine taught me how to stand, how to let time rest against me instead of making demands. walked into the day. Still before the morning comes, a pause the city doesn't see, where the night hasn't given up yet and the day hasn't asked for me. Snow softens every hard decision, streetlights dim their claim, and the piano plays like it remembers why it learned restraint. I sit with the last hour of the night, coffee cooling in my hand, watching time move without purpose the way I finally can. The bass walks a line I trust, brushes whisper grace, and the moment feels complete enough to stay in place. Nothing asking to be done, no ambition in the quiet, no race to be won. I've spent years running toward daylight, thinking that's where life begins, but this space between feels honest, like where truth settles in. What was on my mind? The piano lands on a resting place, lets the harmony be, and I realize how much I've missed by trying to hurry me. Still before the morning, I let the silence stay, knowing daylight will come eventually. In its own way, when the sky finally lightens its grip, turning gleaming blue, I'll carry this stillness with me into whatever comes through. Interrupt the night, didn't stop the music mid-phrase. It waited in the doorway patiently, like it understood my pace. Snow kept working on the sidewalks, undoing the work of yesterday, and the piano stayed right where it was, not trying to lead the way. I thought beginnings needed momentum, a push, a reason, a sign, but this one leaned into the silence and respected the time. The bass walked like it trusted gravity, brushes kept things light, and suddenly I felt no pressure to get anything right. The year didn't interrupt, it just listened in, let the old song finish breathing before the new one began. I didn't have to explain my history, didn't have to defend. The night held every version of me without needing an end. Smoke rose and faded naturally, no shape I had to read. And I noticed how rarely I let a moment exist without speed. The piano returned to a familiar chord, not sentimental, just true. And the room felt balanced enough to hold what I knew. Outside, the city cleared its throat, cars easing into day. Inside, the year stayed seated quietly until I was ready to move away. When I finally stood, nothing changed, nothing broke or began. The year just nodded slightly, like it understood the plan. Nothing asked at midnight, no questions, no demands. The clock changed numbers quietly, like it understood my hands. The piano didn't dress the moment up, didn't mark the change. It just played what it knew best and let the rest arrange. I didn't make a toast or wish, didn't close my eyes. I watched the smoke curl upward and tell its small goodbyes. The bass kept walking like it always does. Brushes stayed polite, and the night felt finished without being right. Nothing asked at midnight, and I didn't offer much. Just sat with what was still intact, and what I couldn't touch. I thought about roads I didn't choose, about staying put, And for the first time that felt like something understood. Outside, horns tried to wake the city, celebrations breaking through. Inside, the music stayed honest, didn't ask me to be new. The piano circled back to its beginning, found a place to land, and I felt the years start gently without a plan. Nothing asked at midnight, and nothing had to change. The night accepted me exactly within its ways. When morning finally found its voice, soft through the snow and gray, I stepped forward quietly, grateful nothing asked me to stay. Snow fell like it had time to spare, no destination in mind. Each flake choosing where to land without trying to be kind. The piano moved the same way, never rushing a thought, and the bass kept walking like it trusted everything it wasn't taught. I sat with my coat still on my shoulders, heat low, lights dim, watching the night explain itself without including him, without including anyone else at all. No audience, no cue, just a moment learning how to exist without review. Snow fell like it had time, like it wasn't afraid to stay, and I felt something loosen quietly inside the day. The brushes whispered forgiveness, not loudly, not in rhyme, just enough to let me know I wasn't behind. About years I sprinted through, afraid of standing still, confusing speed with progress, noise with will. The piano leaned into a softer truth, one I almost missed, and the night felt steady enough to insist. Snow fell like it had time, and somehow that was grace, a reminder not everything needs to pick up pace. When the street lights faded into gray and morning took its turn, I carried that patience with me like something learned. The year sat down beside me quietly, didn't ask if the chair was free. It just folded itself into the moment like it already knew me. Snow pressed its face against the window, street lights humming low, and the piano played a chord that sounded like it had nowhere else to go. I thought beginnings came with instruction, with a list of things to fix, but this one leaned back comfortably and let the record mix. The bass walked slow but certain, brushes softened every sound, and suddenly the future didn't feel like something hunting me down. The year sat down beside me, didn't tell me who to be. It listened to the way I breathed and called that honesty. Smoke lifted like an unfinished thought, then let itself dissolve. And for once I didn't rush to turn a feeling into resolve. I remembered nights I tried too hard, mornings I forced awake, all the versions of myself I tried to overtake. The piano returned to a simple phrase, not hiding, not impressed, and the room felt balanced enough to let the rest. Outside, laughter drifted down the street, champagne still finding the ground inside. The music stayed patient, never needing to be loud. The year stayed longer than expected, never checked the time, and I realized how rare it is to feel alive. When morning finally cleared its throat, light tapping on the glass, the year stood up without a word and let me pass. I didn't wave, I didn't ask, I didn't beg it to stay. I just carried how gently it arrived into the rest of the day. was a winter night that let me stay, didn't push me toward the door, didn't tell me I'd been here too long or couldn't ask for more. The snow outside moved carefully, streetlights blurred and kind, and the piano played like it had time to change its mind. I'd been living on momentum, on habits I couldn't name, thinking motion meant intention and speed meant winning some game. But the bass slowed everything down, step by deliberate step, and suddenly the silence felt like something I could keep. The cigarette burned uneven, ash falling when it pleased, and the night didn't mind the mess of it, the small inconsistencies. Brushes softened every sharp idea, left no edge to defend, and I felt the year relax its grip on who I'd been. A winter night that let me stay didn't promise me a thing. It didn't dress itself in hope or ask me how I'd sing. It just gave me room to sit with time, to breathe without disguise, and the music didn't need my answers to feel wise. I thought about mornings I'd rushed into, afternoons I tried to save, about how often I confused myself with being brave. The piano returned to a familiar place, not hiding, not exposed, and the moment felt complete without being closed. A winter night that let me stay taught me how to listen again, how to hear what lives between the notes instead of chasing them. When morning finally found the streets, snow thinning into gray, I walked forward quietly, grateful the night let me stay. When the calendar turned quiet, nothing in the room moved fast. The night didn't rush to label what was future, what was past. Snow kept working on the sidewalks, erasing footsteps with care, and the piano found a place to land that didn't need repair. I thought the year would ask me questions, demand a clearer view, but it only sat across from me and let the silence through. Smoke traced circles near the ceiling, then drifted out of sight like every plan I'd overdrawn. When the calendar turned quiet, I stopped trying to explain why some doors stayed closed on purpose, why some losses weren't in vain. The brushes whispered something gentle about letting moments be, and the night accepted every version of me I couldn't see. Outside, the city cleared its throat, engines starting slow. Inside, the piano held a truth I didn't need to know. I felt the year breathing beside me, felt it settle in my chest, and for the first time in a long while, I didn't need the rest. When the calendar turned quiet, I stayed where I was found, letting time do what it does best when no one's watching it around. Morning would come with daylight rules, with sharper lines in view, but the year began in softness, and I let that softness through. It was still before the city remembered me, before the streets called out my name, before the day decided what mattered and handed out blame. The night held everything loosely, like it didn't care to keep, and the piano played a phrase that sounded half asleep. I sat alone with a cup gone cold, steam fading into air, listening to the bass explain patience without declaring it fair. Brushes brushed across the edges of time, rounding moments thin, and the silence felt deep enough to let something in. I thought about all the mornings I'd rehearsed the lines I planned to say, how often I tried to outrun myself by starting the day. But here before the city remembered me, there was no role to play, no version of myself required to make it through the day. Smoke lifted, then disappeared completely, leaving no sign behind, and the piano returned to a place that didn't mind. I let the night finish its thought, didn't interrupt or steer, and felt something settle quietly right here. City remembered me before doors opened wide. I stayed with the moment long enough to stand inside. When light finally reached the buildings, soft and unsure, I stepped forward carrying something rare, a calm I could endure. Listen in the quiet space before day. Nothing moved except time that night. No sudden shifts, no grand design. Just the steady passing of minutes falling quietly in line. The piano sat with its hands folded, waiting for the right place to speak. And when it did, it said so little that the silence learned to breathe. I watched the snow settle into corners, street lights soft and dim, the bass walk in circles underneath every thought. Brushes whispered something forgiving, not loud enough to hear, but strong enough to let me know I wasn't late or early or here. I've mistaken motion for meaning before, confused noise with being alive. That night asked nothing of me, and somehow that helped me survive. Smoke rose like a sentence unfinished, then chose to end midair, and I let it go without asking what it was trying to declare. Nothing moved except time, and time didn't push, it didn't demand attention or try to rush. It let the moment stretch and bend, let the music stay, and I learned how much peace lies in letting things remain. resting place slowly, as if it didn't want to impose. And the room felt balanced enough to close what it didn't close. I thought about mornings I'd forced awake, nights I tried to outrun, and realized how rarely I'd let myself be exactly someone. Nothing moved except time, and that was enough. No revelation, no turning point, no sudden stuff. When morning finally reached the street, snow thinning into gray, I walked forward calmly, carrying a night that didn't ask me to stay. The night kept breathing long after midnight, slow and steady, like it had nowhere else to go. The clock moved forward without urgency, each second choosing to move slow. Snow pressed itself against the window, not asking to be noticed or named. And the piano played a line so familiar, it felt almost unclaimed. I sat there listening to the room exist, to the soft electricity of time, the bass moving like a heartbeat that never needed to climb. Brushes brushed away the sharper edges of thoughts I didn't want to hold. And suddenly the silence felt fuller than anything I'd been told. I've spent so many nights trying to arrive somewhere, thinking rest was something earned. But this one asked nothing of me, it simply stayed and learned. Smoke drifted upward like an old memory, curling and letting go. And I realized how often I tried to hurry what already knew how to grow. The night kept breathing, even when I stopped asking why. Even when the future stayed quiet and the past didn't try, it filled the room without explanation, without demanding. Cars humming far below. Inside the piano returned again and again to a place it seemed to know. I thought about the versions of myself I left unfinished on the way. And for once I didn't feel the need to chase them down or stay. The night kept breathing until morning hinted a lighter shade of dark. And I stood up gently, not wanting to leave a mark. I carried that breath into the day, quiet, slow, and sure, knowing some nights don't end. They simply teach you how to endure. Winter didn't rush me out the door, didn't push me toward the next season's claim. It stayed seated across from me patiently, never asking my name. Snow lined the edges of the street like a thought half formed, unsure. And the piano played a chord that felt unfinished polished but pure. I'd been trained to believe that staying still meant falling behind, that movement was proof of intention, speed a sign. But the bass walked calmly without urgency, brushes traced time thin, and I felt the pressure lift slowly from under my skin. Winter didn't rush me out, didn't tell me it was time. It let the night stretch long enough to finish its rhyme. Smoke curled into the dim-lit room, then chose to fade. And I realized how many exits I'd never needed to take. Nights I tried to outrun, how often I mistook exhaustion for having won. The piano returned to a resting place, no drama, no test, and the silence afterward felt like permission to rest. Winter didn't rush me out, it trusted I'd know when to leave. It didn't demand resolution or ask me to believe. When daylight finally softened the snow, turning white to gray, I stepped forward without resistance, carrying what winter chose to say. That some moments ask you to stay, to listen, to wait, to let time move naturally without shaping your fate. Winter didn't rush me out, and neither did I. I walked into the day quietly under our wide, forgiving sky. There's a space between the last song and the first light of the day, where the night hasn't finished speaking and the morning won't stay. The record keeps spinning softly, needle warm with sound. The piano circles familiar ground without breaking it down. I sit alone but not lonely, chair pulled close to the heat, listening to the bass explain patience with every step it meets. Brushes move like careful hands, sweeping the floor of time, and the moment feels deliberately unhurried, almost kind. I think about conversations unfinished, words I never sent, how often I confused momentum with what I meant. The snow outside keeps falling evenly, no need to impress, and I start to understand. and the beauty of less. Between the last song and the first light, nothing needs to be proved. The future isn't asking questions, the past doesn't intrude. There's just brief rhythm and room, and a truth that doesn't speak, settling quietly into my chest without being unique. Smoke fades into the ceiling again, ash resting where it lands, and I realize how rarely I let myself stay exactly where I stand. The piano leans into a final phrase, not dramatic, not proud, and the silence afterward feels earned, not loud. Between the last song and the first light, I let the night finish whole, knowing daylight will come eventually and ask its toll. But for now, the music holds the door, lets the quiet remain, and I walk forward gently when the light calls my name. Didn't need an answer, didn't lean across the table and ask me why. It just stayed exactly where it was, watching the hours pass by. Snow kept layering the sidewalk slowly, each step erased with care, and the piano played like it had learned how not to stare. I sat with my coat still on my shoulders, heat low, lights turned down, listening to the city breathe somewhere far below the sound. The bass moved carefully, one note at a time, never reaching too far, and the brushes softened every sharp thought about who we are. I've spent years thinking silence meant emptiness, that quiet was something to escape. But tonight the stillness feels intentional, like it chose this shape. Smoke drifts upward, then disappears, no meaning left to chase. And I stop trying to read the future in the lines of my face. The night didn't need an answer, it didn't need a plan, it didn't care if I was becoming a better version of who I am. It just let the music finish its sentence, let the moment stay, and somehow that felt more honest than being led away. Outside, the streetlights flicker uncertainly, unsure of what they show. Inside, the piano holds a note, long enough to know that time doesn't always demand progress. Sometimes it just waits, letting you sit with the truth before it complicates. The night didn't need an answer, and I didn't try to give one. I watched the clock move forward calmly, like nothing had begun. When morning finally cleared its throat, light touching the snow, I stood up quietly, carrying what the night chose not to know. Winter stayed a little longer than the calendar allowed. Snow lingering on the sidewalks like it wasn't done yet now. The city moved on out of habit. Sunlight tried to interfere, but the night still held its ground and kept me here. The piano played without urgency, no rush to reach a point. The bass leaned into every step like it trusted where it joined. Brushes traced the edges of the moment, kept it soft and slow, and I stopped trying to outrun what I already know. I thought seasons turned with intention, like a switch or a sign, but winter just stayed present, unconcerned with time. It let me sit with colder truths, with thoughts I didn't name, and somehow that felt warmer than pretending I'd changed. Winter stayed a little longer, gave me room to see that not every pause is failure, not every stillness means defeat. Some moments need the quiet, need the dim lit tone to teach you how to stand again on your own. When the cold finally loosened its grip and the street lights blinked away, I walked forward carrying something. Winter taught me to say that staying isn't weakness, that